Hello, everyone. So I am on vacation. I'm currently going to be in Nashville at the moment. Therefore, I'm recording this a week ahead for you guys. This week, we are learning about eating for weight management. Last week, we learned about protein. We learned that protein is very important to us. When utilizing protein for eating for weight management, it's actually very helpful to include it because protein takes longer to break down and digest. Therefore, it keeps you fuller longer. That is why it's very important to always have a protein with every snack and every meal. It's a really good source to help you keep you satisfied for weight management outside of just maintaining your muscle mass. So the first activity I'm going to have you guys do is thinking about what previous diets you have tried to lose weight. So if you're watching this independently right now, stop and think. Have you tried Weight Watchers? Have you tried Atkins? Have you tried the ketogenic diet? What types of things have you tried? And if you have tried some, how did they work for you? Did they work really great for a couple of weeks or months and then you fell off? A lot of the times you will find that eating for weight loss as the number one goal is unsustainable. And so I like to approach eating for weight management versus weight loss because you look at weight as more of a neutral side effect of creating healthy habits, exercising, eating nutritious foods, etc. So if you eat healthy foods, you exercise, you get good sleep, eat enough protein, drink your water, you do those healthy habits, the side effects will be improved energy, stronger, better sleep, maybe better mood, more confidence, weight loss, better body composition, etc. That's a side effect of doing all the healthy habits. So thinking about, what is normally used for diets, like I said, diets for weight loss, low calorie diets, low carb diets, that's similar to like the Atkins, ketogenic diets, that would be high fat, moderate protein, low, almost minute carbs. Weight Watchers, where you go in point system, Noom, which is an app that can be used, different detoxes, whether it's juice detoxes, fruit detoxes, etc. And the portion fix, so I know Beachbody has portion containers where you have each dish as a different color. And then meal replacement shakes like Herbalife and Isogenics and other different brands that you may have experienced. So if these exist, why don't they work? They don't work because decreased calories, so low calories, decreases your metabolism. When you lose weight very quickly, your body will adapt and you actually almost go into like a protective mechanism because your body's thinking, holy smokes, the last whole month I haven't been eating a lot of food, right? Therefore, your body wants to do what's most efficient for itself. If you have only been eating, say, 1,200 calories, your body only needs to expend enough energy to break down 1,200 calories, right? So your metabolism will adapt to that and decrease to the amount of food that you're eating. And I think it's really important to think about this as what are ways that we burn calories. So there's just your resting metabolic rate, so just your organs and your body existing, right? And then there's thermodynamics, so you maintaining a regular temperature. That's why you probably have heard like drinking ice cold water can help you burn like a couple extra calories. Like it's so minute, but it can technically, yes. Like if you sit out in the ice cold freezing winter, you're shivering, you're warming yourself up, will help you burn calories. And then there's daily activity, so just walking to and from your car to your work, around your house, etc. And then above that would be intentional exercise. And so we know that it takes calories, it takes energy to digest food. So if you're giving yourself small amounts of calories, your body is just going to do the most protective thing it can do. It's like, why would it do extra work. It doesn't need to. So I hope that makes sense for you guys. Also, you gain that weight back and usually get stuck cycling. And so people will do these diets, although consistently counting things, eating super low carbs, eating low calories, following all these rules, they may be really great in the beginning. They may get you some results, but they end up getting old really quickly. You have life, you have family events, you have holidays, you have vacation, and it's just not sustainable. So you end up just dropping off for whatever reason. And then you never really learned healthy habits, so you automatically go back to what you did initially before the diet. This can have you feeling defeated and lose confidence in your own abilities. I can't explain the amount of times that I've heard from someone like, nothing works for me. I've tried everything. Like, I'm just not able to change my body. I'm just not able to lose weight, or just all those things. When, yeah, you lose your confidence because you've put all this effort into trying 4, 5, 6 different diets throughout these years of your lives, and nothing has worked for you thus far. So of course you've been going 0 out of 5 so far. Like, you feel very defeated. It makes you create unhealthy food behaviors. So you start identifying foods as good or bad, feeling guilty if you eat certain foods. Instead of being like, oh, I'm nourishing my body, I'm getting all the good things in, you look at it instead of more an abundance approach of like, what types of foods can I add into my diet? I can add in fruits and vegetables, I can add in fiber, I can add in protein. What things do you pull away from, like, out of your diet? So it's very restrictive, and it creates poor habits with food. It can lead to deficiencies in food. For example, people will do like a low carb diet, right? And then they aren't eating enough like vegetables. They aren't eating, obviously, whole grains like oatmeal, quinoa, rice, like corn, all those things. Those things have fiber. And so they're not only cutting out carbs, they're cutting out a primary source of fiber. So you're going to have low amounts of fiber in your body. You might be cutting out like different vitamins that weren't in some of those foods. So you can get deficiencies from cutting out whole amounts of food. And then it can cause hormone imbalances, which we know you're already at a higher risk of hormone imbalances during this time. So we want to make sure that we're not doing that. And then leading to binge restriction cycles. So eating a bunch and then feeling guilty about it, and then be like, okay, I'm going to skip breakfast tomorrow. Okay, I'm going to go exercise an hour to burn this off. You start binging and then restricting out of guilt. And I'm sure you guys can identify with me, hopefully maybe connecting with, at least one of those things. I mean, it's an unfortunate thing, but I'm sure you can connect with at least one of those things. So looking at weight loss versus weight management, weight loss uses only lowering numbers on the scale as success. So you see the weight go down, therefore you are successful. Despite how you feel, despite any things, you are successful. Where weight management focuses more on improving, fat to lean body mass that allows your body to feel most strong and energized. It doesn't necessarily focus completely on weight, although weight may come down. Your weight might also stay the exact same, but you lose fat and you fit better in clothes and your body improves its function. Weight loss also has just getting lighter and smaller as a motivation. Thinking you reached your goal when you met that exact amount of numbers. And so a very common thing I find is people want to lose 40 pounds. Like, their mind is, I want to lose 40 pounds, right? And so even if you're at 32 pounds down, but you feel amazing and you feel strong, and you've felt better than you ever have, you still will be like, but I want to get that extra 8. Like, why is that extra 8 so important to you when your body is managing itself really well, your gut's working well, your hormones are working well, your body feels good? So it has reaching that goal as like the pivotal point of success. And honestly, at the end of the day, it's a very short-term approach to health. So weight management focuses on finding a weight that fits best for your goals and for your body, inside and outside. Like I said, improving more of your fat to lean body mass. We learned last week that sarcopenia occurs, so we know that our muscle mass will naturally go down with age, and then our fat mass will increase. So we want to maintain a good muscle to fat ratio to prevent sarcopenia from occurring. And then also understanding that there really is no endpoint to this journey. It's long term, and you just want to feel good and stay at and maintain that weight and that body for the rest of your life. You're not trying to get to a certain point and then, okay, what do I do now? You're wanting to maintain that. And a really great example is my body. I am considered in the overweight BMI category, so my insurance does not like that about me, but whatever. So my body weight right now at like 182, 183 pounds is very consistent. I feel very strong. I feel like I can control my gut pretty well. Like I could sleep. I can go out and enjoy holidays and events with family and friends without feeling super restricted. Although previous in my life, like 5 or 6 years ago, I was 50 pounds lighter. I was 133, 135 pounds. And so I was trying, in sense, to meet the number on the scale. I had a poor relationship with food. I was getting injured all the time. I wasn't able to eat a lot of things that I loved. I was restricting. I had terrible gut health. I was hospitalized, hormone imbalances, panic attacks all the time. So, not healthy, but that was the lightest I ever was. So if I was trying to do more of the weight loss approach, that would have been like my most successful time and most pivotal time in my entire life. But I'm not taking that approach. So I hope that kind of makes sense with you guys. So ways that we can eat to achieve this goal of weight management is number one, building balanced meals and complete snacks. So we know the 4 components of a meal: protein, carbs, primarily higher in fiber, fats, primarily anti-inflammatory fats, and then nutrients. So the vegetables and fruits. And so those are the things that you always want to include in a meal, whether you're going out to eat, whether you are making food at your house, meal planning, etc. Those are the things you want to include. So then a complete snack, we learned last week, is you want to have 2 components. So you want to have a protein and then an other. And so having complete meals and complete snacks ensures that you're eating protein at every meal and snack. It also ensures that throughout the day you're getting a variety of fruits and vegetables, different colors, different fiber sources, etc. So then next we're going to learn about, okay, we know how to eat, or we know what to eat, we know what types of things to eat. Okay, how much do we eat? Where do we start? Where do we end, right? So that's where we're going to get into with intuitive eating. And then number 3 is just, obviously at the end of the day, there are some foods that are higher in calories, primarily fat foods. So like avocados, nuts, peanut butter, oils, etc. Even though they're very nutritious, they're very anti-inflammatory, they still are just higher in calories. It just is because fats have more calories per volume than proteins or carbs. We can't change it. So we can use it to our benefit because fats take the longest to break down, which is why adding a little bit of fat to every meal helps you stay more satisfied. Although you want to make sure you're having smaller amounts and not a surplus of fat, because that is going to be a quick way to add in calories that you might not want. So building a balanced plate, so protein, fiber-rich carb, fat, and nutrients, so your fruit or vegetable. I try to include different things, so you'll see breakfast here. There's oatmeal, which is a fiber-rich carb. You have nutrients, which are your fruits. I can't see it on here, but I'm assuming there's no chia seeds or a healthy fat, so I think there's opportunity for growth in this bowl of oatmeal. So we have 2 of the 4 components. We should add a peanut butter or flax meal or chia seeds, etc. And then adding some sort of protein. So maybe you have 2 boiled eggs on the side of it, or you have a scoop of protein powder inside of your oatmeal to amp up the protein, or maybe you just have like a protein smoothie on the side, but like having something to include all 4 components to your breakfast. You'll see on the top there's the chicken, potatoes, beans, super easy 1-pan dish. I'm a huge fan of easy carb protein vegetable dinners. I love the salmon to potato and like green vegetable combination. It's very pretty and it's just very healthy for you. And then you'll see over on the side of the screen, it looks like there's some sort of like casserole-ish thing. And so you can see that there's vegetables in there. So there's broccoli and there's definitely some like microgreens on top. So you got the nutrients. It looks like there's like cheese or something in there. I can't necessarily see super close, but it looks like there's like cheese, so that would be the fat, or if they used any butter or olive oil for cooking, that would be the fat. Protein, it looks like it's maybe like beef or turkey, and then carbs, so maybe there's like noodles in there. It's kind of small, so I can't necessarily see exactly what it is, but you get the gist. So like it doesn't matter if you're gonna have like chicken, vegetable, potato, or you throw it all together into a casserole, it doesn't matter. Or you throw it all together into a stir fry, or you throw it all together into a burrito bowl, or throw it all together into tacos. It doesn't matter as long as you have all 4 components of the meal. And we need all 4 components because each one has a different purpose. So we know that protein helps you maintain your muscle mass, helps you stay full. Fiber helps maintain a good gut, digestive system, helps you stay full as well, and regulate your insulin levels. We know that fat helps you stay satisfied because it takes longest to break down. It also is anti-inflammatory if you choose those omega-3 fats. And then nutrients, fruits, and vegetables, we just need those. So this is just if you wanted to know more about those. I just kind of explained that to all of you guys. The purpose of each component. So you can pause and read through it if you would like. And this is the easiest way if you want to visualize how do you approach meals for weight management. So we know that vegetables and fruits have the lowest amount of calories. They just naturally use like non-starchy vegetables. So if we have half our plate of non-starchy vegetables and fruits and like fruits and vegetables, obviously, so that would be a really good way for us to fill fiber on our plate, colors, nutrients, also in a pretty low calorie way. Always having that protein, so having a quarter of your plate, or for sure just a protein source. And then the remainder of your plate can be your carbs and your fats. So starchy vegetables, like potatoes, squash, peas, corn, noodles, toast, whatever. And then the fat, obviously, your cooking oils, avocado, chia seeds, flax meal, etc. So grab a drink quick. And then we got water up in the corner. So going into building a complete snack, I wanted to bring this back up again. So gotta have your protein, and then you're not protein food, so 2 components always. So that's kind of utilizing these 2 things to be that first picture, that first grouping in that slide that we saw. So I'm moving into the middle one, which is intuitive eating. A lot of people don't know exactly what intuitive eating is. When I usually ask the group, what do you think it is? They'll say like, eating whatever I want when I want, or eating when I'm hungry, stopping when I'm full, which is pretty close. Some don't know really at all, but they hear about it. So you might have experienced any of those things. Can I not go backwards? I can't go backwards? Going with it. Okay, so this is just the importance of intuitive eating. And so that would be obviously better for your mental health, creates a better relationship with food. It decreases your stress and obviously overall work on yourself, because I feel like people get overwhelmed with like tracking and counting all of these things, and then it makes your body overall feel better. I'm just going to look in my binder, guys. I'm sorry. I see what that slide was so I can like at least see if there was information on it that you needed to know. Okay, so the slide was, just what is intuitive eating? So eating in a way you can make peace with all types of foods, so there aren't good foods and bad foods. Obviously, we know there are foods that are more nutritious and foods that have less nutrition in them, but we're giving ourselves the ability to eat all of them. You're no longer looking at food as good or bad. Listen to your body's natural cues, eating when you're hungry, stopping when you are satisfied. Not even just full, but satisfied, because there is a difference between full and satisfied. So an example could be, say you really wanted just like a dessert, right? You just really, I really want, like, there's a tort that my family made for dessert and I really want it. And you are like, I'm not going to eat that. I'm going to go eat some grapes instead. And you eat grapes and you're like, nah, like that didn't satisfy me. But now I'm going to go eat something like a healthy alternative. I'm going to go eat like a protein bar. No, that didn't really fix it either. Okay, now I'm going to go try eating like some graham crackers. And you're like, that didn't do it either. So now you're like probably super full, but you're still not satisfied. And you just consumed probably like 500, 800 extra calories trying to eat something that wasn't actually going to satisfy you. So eating things that truly satisfy you prevents you from overeating, because you're allowing yourself to have the ability to eat the food that satisfies you, and stopping when you're like, oh, that was good, that was enough. And this is something that it sounds very bizarre and like abstract, and it takes a lot of time for practice. And if you want to continue working on these things, obviously you can work with me outside of this class and more of a one-on-one approach. But intuitive eating takes time. I would say I've been intuitive eating for like 2 to 3 years. I think I was trying in the beginning for multiple years before that, but it wasn't like good. I would say the last like 2 years I've really done well with intuitive eating. And that's obviously the way that I want to approach helping my clients, also like just inspiring others to eat that way in a more body-friendly approach. And then lastly, intuitive eating does not focus on needing to lose weight or gain weight. It's truly just like eating for what feels best for your body. So that was the slide that I accidentally flew right past. Good thing I went back and looked, because that was some important information, guys. Okay. I'm sorry. We're just going to put this here. Moving to the next slide. Okay, so how to intuitively eat. Don't follow diets, which we talked about diets in the beginning of the slideshow. We don't want to follow those. Eat when you're hungry. So we will learn what that means for you. Paying attention to fullness, choosing foods that make you feel good, and then respecting your emotions and your cravings. So not just being like, I'm eating this, but I know it's because I'm sad and I feel bad about it, but like, okay, like accepting it, like, I respect that. I'm really aware of this, but like you might not be. So like, if you have hormone fluctuations, like your menstrual cycle, like you will crave different things at different times of the month. And so I'm very in tune with that. And I don't get mad at myself when during like ovulation or 3 days leading up to my period, when my body is craving sugars, because that just truly like is what it is. Do I try and make the best higher fiber nutritious options? Yes. But does that mean that I do that perfect every single time? No. But like, I respect that about my body, and I feel that, if this is the body that looks like when I'm able to respect those foods, then that's maybe just what this body looks like. Could I probably be like 4 to 5 pounds lighter? Yeah, but then would I be respecting my foods, or would I be having super strict rules on myself? Probably super strict rules. So this is the intuitive eating scale. So 1 is obviously the bottom, and then 10 is the top. So those are the no-no zones. You want to stay more so in the middle. So 1, a great example of this is, have you ever you woke up in the morning, you skip breakfast, and then you're like getting really, really, really hungry. Maybe it's like 10 or 11, and you're like, we need to stop and eat somewhere, because you're getting nauseous, you're getting lightheaded, you're getting pretty like low energy, you're like, okay, I literally need some food right now. That would be a 1. A 10 would be Thanksgiving Day full. You ate way too much. You need to unbutton your pants. You need to like lay down. It feels terrible. 2 would be like, okay, you're getting really hangry. You're not to the point where you want to like throw up and faint and stuff, but like you're really hangry. You're like, this is when you need to feed me or else it's going to be very bad. A 9 would be like, I'm full. Like I am full. I do not want any more or I will be uncomfortable. But I am very full. Done. So that is like the lowest and the highest you ever want to be. But the sweet spot is 3 to 8. So 3 to 8 is where we want to lie. 3 is, like where maybe you're in the middle of a meeting and it's right before lunch and you're like, I'm starting to get hungry. I'm starting to get distracted. Like definitely could use lunch right now. Like I'm not getting nauseous and I'm not getting lightheaded, but like pretty hungry. This is definitely time for me to be eating my lunch. And then 8 would be very satisfied. You're comfortably full. You're not uncomfortable. You're not too full. You're like, yeah, this is fine. 7 is you could definitely eat a little bit more, but you're like, I don't want to because maybe I know that I'm out for lunch and I'm going to eat a lighter lunch because I know that we're going to be doing a lot of walking around and I don't want my tummy to hurt. 8 is where you're like, okay, like I'm eating until I'm full. So I hope that makes sense for you guys, trying to identify maybe where that number lies for you and if you've experienced any of those things throughout that time. So once again, staying 3 to 8 would be ideal. So now choosing foods that feel good. So building a balanced meal, we know we have to have the 4 components: protein, carb, fat, and nutrients. You're going to get sick of me saying that, but that's just what it is. Choose foods that are both filling and satisfying. So not just filling, but also satisfying, because satisfying is when your body wants to stop. So again, we don't just want to eat something because it filled us up, but we know it's not what we actually want. If you're like, okay, I really could go for some mac and cheese right now, allow yourself to have, a serving of mac and cheese, and that's the carb on your plate, but you're still having a good protein source and you're still having your vegetables there. That will be nourishing and satisfying at the same time. Instead of you being like, I want a mac and cheese, but I'm going to eat rice. Okay, like that probably isn't going to satisfy you. So you know what I mean? Like just trying to fill you up, following the rules of the approach of eating nutritiously, but also still feeling satisfied and not allowing yourself to restrict yourself from foods that are bad. So you eat fun foods in moderation and focusing on how foods make you feel and how it affects your body and performance. So a very common thing I hear is people be like, well, if I'm going to be intuitive eating, I'm just going to like eat chicken nuggets and mac and cheese and Cheetos all day. And I'm like, okay, try that for like a couple days and see how you feel. You're going to feel terrible. You're going to have really bad gut issues. You're going to have like bad hormone issues. You're going to have probably acne. You're going to have insulin spikes. You're going to be hungry all the time because none of that's really like filling. You're just not going to feel good. You're not going to want to work out. So intuitive eating isn't just eating what you want, it's eating what feels best for your body. There is a difference. So you want to do what feels best for your body while including and honoring what is satisfying and does this food bring me joy, etc. But at the end of the day, you still do want to, feel your best. So mindfulness, a way of eating is trying to be mindful. And I think this is really important to break down. So being aware of your inner experience, environmental cues, pausing between your trigger and your response, which I will get into, and then like making intentional decisions. So a good trigger, pause response is, say you go to the movie theater. You just went out to dinner with your significant other or a friend or whatever. So you're not hungry. You literally just ate dinner. But you go to the movie theater and you're like, I'm gonna get some popcorn. Why? You're not hungry. It's just movie theater equals popcorn. Or you maybe go to a certain city, and whenever you go to that city, you're like, I have to stop at this place for lunch. I'm not hungry, but I'm stopping here for lunch because they have the best ice cream. So there's a trigger that causes you to respond in a way. Or maybe you're bored, and you're a bored eater. So you're like, I'm bored. I'm going to go walk to the cabinet in the fridge, open it up and stare at it and just grab whatever I see. So there's a trigger, and then there's your response. Mindfulness breaks that apart, separates those two, and allows you to be more mindful and present between, okay, am I actually hungry? I did just eat dinner with my significant other. I feel very satisfied. I don't need a whole bowl of popcorn. Maybe if I'm really craving popcorn, we could split a small. I would still get the satisfaction of it, but I would not be overly full afterwards. So trying to allow yourself to pause in between, separate the trigger and the response. And again, this takes a lot of time and a lot of practice. So mindful eating and multitasking. So it's really important to not eat distracted if you are a person who tends to binge eat and stuff. And so, or if you're just trying to like watch your weight management because you're watching in front of the TV, scrolling on your phone while you eat, just opening a bag and sitting there and just talking while you eat, like all of those things don't allow you to really feel how that food's making you feel. 1 through 10, where are you on that hunger cue? Are you satisfied? Are you not satisfied? Is this even sitting well with you? Etc. I'm terrible at eating at my desk. Like, I tell you guys to not do it, and then I'm like the worst ever at it because I don't know why, but I need to get better at that too. And I also need to work at being more present when I eat dinner, because my husband and me never eat at our kitchen table. We always eat in the living room on the couch, which is like not what you're supposed to do. So we need to work at that too. So it's just a little question for you, like stop and think. Where did you eat your breakfast this morning? What did you have for breakfast? Describe the meal. So some people might be like, I don't even know. Like, I was running out the door, I just grabbed something. That was not very mindful. Obviously, that happens sometimes when you're running behind, but like that isn't what you should be doing every day. So I ate breakfast at my desk, but I know I had a protein chia pudding. I had blueberries in there. I can like think of the texture. I can think of the way it tasted. It was really good. So even though I was eating at my desk, I was still like mindful and present in the environment, in the situation of me eating. So here are just some different mindful eating ideas to challenge yourself. Sitting and eating down at a dinner table, which I need to work on. Creating ambiance, so setting the table nicely, adding some flowers or decorations to give the environment more ambiance. So just like, I feel like we go to like nice dinners or we have family dinners and we like do it up, right? Or we're like putting candles or we like treat ourselves. We really enjoy those experiences because, you know, the plates are set, maybe the lighting is dim, there's candles, there's like a glass of cute little vase of water. Like, that makes the ambiance and the environment better. So like maybe just trying to, you know, if you have family dinners, like trying to really set that mood. Avoiding distractions, obviously I talked about that. Unless it's an emergency and you have to. Chewing your food for 10 to 15 times per bite. This is really, really hard. And it's probably not something you'll do with every single bite, but just doing it maybe like once when you eat, like just forcing yourself to be mindful. Like, what does that food actually taste like? 15 to 20 bites is a lot. I probably do like 2 or 3 because I eat very fast and need to slow down. So that's a really good challenge to try. Setting a timer to make your meal last 20 minutes. So this is something that I've been working on, is eating slower. I usually eat really fast, so I've been trying, I don't set a timer, but like I try and make it last like 10 minutes versus like 2 minutes. So, you know, trying to stretch the time out so you're really able to think, well, am I digesting this well? Am I full yet? Whatever. Don't eat from the bag or the box. Pour a little bit of Cheez-Its out, you know, like into a bowl and bring that to the couch with you. Don't bring the whole box out there. Because you can, you know, have your portion size and feel satisfied, no problem. And then if you're like, you know, I'm going for like, I could have like another little bit, I'm going to add to it. Do that. Or if you want, or like, you know, I don't need any more. So that could be a situation too, where you just stop eating because you feel satisfied. But if the box was there and it was open, you probably would have continued to eat. And then keeping extra food away from the table. So I'm sure you can kind of think about when you sit down at like Thanksgiving and everyone's food's on the table and everyone's kind of done eating, but maybe you're still talking, and then you're like, oh, there's some stuffing you just like throw on your plate because you're bored and you haven't left the table yet. So trying to not do that. So like have the food on an area and then take your plate, build a balanced plate, and then go sit down separate, because then you can kind of stop and be like, okay, am I still hungry? Do I want certain things? Am I still craving some more protein? You can stop and think what foods you're actually wanting to eat. So it's really important also for just gut health to have a mindful eating. So if your mind is tuned out during mealtime, the digestive process may be up to 30 to 40% less effective. And that is when you can have digestive stress, gas, bloating, irregular bowel function, etc. So having a good mind-body connection just accurately helps your gut and digestive system work better. It also helps you have more clarity with your hunger, your satiety, and your fullness. And then relationship between feeling and food. So emotions can be a significant part of overeating. So a lot of people say like, I overeat a lot, or that's my biggest issue is I just can't stop. So the 5 main brain chemicals, I'm just going to dive into those and maybe how your body would respond to that. So norepinephrine is your fight or flight one, like when you're exercising or if you're afraid, that just gets released in your body. Serotonin is your happy hormone, which you talked about previously. It's so when you are in menopause and your estrogen drops, your serotonin drops, so that's what causes a lot of mood swings. When serotonin levels fall, body senses starvation in the body and it craves carbs to protect itself. That's also why you get hangry. Dopamine, which is a pleasure and reward feeling, it is particularly sensitive to addiction and pain tolerance. GABA makes you feel drowsy, one of the ways that anesthesia works on the body, and then nitric oxide is a medication like chemical that helps calm you down temporarily. So if you notice that you're reaching for foods that are hard and crunchy, you might be feeling angry. So this isn't guaranteed to go for everyone, but this is kind of like a good slide to just kind of like keep in the back of your head and be more in tune with your body. If you're craving sugars, you might be feeling depressed because those are more associated with depressed feelings. If you're craving soft and sweet foods, maybe you're feeling anxious. If you're craving salty foods, maybe you're feeling stressed. Bulky, fill you up foods, feeling lonely, and then everything and anything in sight, maybe you're feeling jealous. So I challenge you now to pause and start and try and explain what intuitive eating is now. In the beginning, you might have just thought, okay, stopping when you're full, eating when you're hungry, or just eating whatever makes you feel your best. But truly stop and think, okay, if you could write a little paragraph or a little statement, what is intuitive eating? Write that down on a little note next to you. So then the last portion of this is the third one, which is controlling higher calorie foods. So you are allowed to eat all foods, but some can be higher in calories, which can lead to long-term weight gain if consumed consistently or frequently. We know that omega-3 fats are very nutritious for us and healthy, but they can be overconsumed. So higher fat foods are nuts, seeds, peanut butter, avocado, creamer, cheese, and oils. So I just wanted to give you an example of a way to use your hand if you're out to eat or whatever for portion sizes. Also just some general portion sizes for commonly consumed higher calorie foods. Also, you are allowed to have more than one serving size. I just included like the peanut butter, nuts, seeds, oils, dried fruit, avocado serving size. You can have a half of an avocado. You don't have to have a quarter, but just know that like, okay, now you're having 2 portions. So just making sure you're trying to balance it out throughout the whole day. So bringing it all back together, better managing weight and facilitating sustainable weight loss by pairing intuitive eating, building balanced meals, eating high protein snacks, and eating proper portions for higher calorie foods. We're trying to incorporate all of those things together to help you create weight management. So now just stop and think about one to 2 or 3 things that you will take away from this presentation. Will you maybe apply some of the mindful eating things? Will you double down on eating protein at meals and snacks? Will you try and stop and use intuitive eating 1 through 10? Obviously, the idea is you use all of it, but like that's a lot at one time to gather. So what is realistic for you? What can you implement into your life?